Hey guys, welcome back to the next episode of Sports Talk with Hawk. Today we are going to be looking at the Indianapolis Colts, my hometown team. What in the world was that in 2024? And how the heck can we fix it so that 2025 doesn't have the same thing? All that and more coming right up. Hey guys, welcome in. It is the Monday morning after the Super Bowl. The Eagles made paper beat rock. They were the best team on paper. I said that in my official Super Bowl prediction. I just wanted Andy Reid to get the three-peat so that he had something that Bill Belichick would never have. I still think Andy Reid is one of the best coaches of all time. I do think, and we're just going to take a little bit of time here because I don't want to take a full 5-10 minute segment on it right now. But I think what you saw is the return of defense matters. You saw it with Minnesota. You saw it with the Rams. Defense matters as the penalties went way in the direction of the offense. Defenses have adjusted. And the one place that you can beat a team no matter what is the offensive line. And by golly, Philadelphia has one of the best offense and defensive lines. Jalen Carter is an absolute beast. Jordan Davis is an immovable object. The Kansas City Chiefs were beaten at their own game. Jalen Hurts is nothing special. Legitimately, he just ran where nobody was. Steve Spagnuolo got outcoached offensively by Kellen Moore. I have reservations about him as a head coach, but I don't have reservations about his play calling necessarily. But can he do it with not the star-studded staff of the Philadelphia Eagles and all those players? So that remains to be seen. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations to the city of Philadelphia. Well done. Way to stay behind your team. And I still believe it's the worst coach to ever win a Super Bowl. He could probably go 6-11 next year and still get fired the year after a Super Bowl. Like this was the team just being too good. But congratulations to each one of those players, and I am super happy for Saquon Barkley. All right. Indianapolis Colts. I watched every game this year. I went to two of them, the Miami Dolphin and the Jacksonville Jaguar season finale. What a rough year. What a rough year just watching. I mean, I am not in. So here's the thing about how I look at everything. I am not a fanatic. I love football. I study football. I am a diehard football fan. I grew up a diehard Indianapolis Colts fanatic. Through my early years of life, into my teenage years of life, into my young adult years of life, I would have argued a bunch of stuff that I see on Twitter by 40 and 50-year-old adults back when I was in my early 20s and before. But I understand football. Because I love football, I watch the whole aspect. And the reality is there is no comparing Anthony Richardson to Josh Allen. He is not humble enough. He is not willing to take correction enough. He does not step up to the plate enough. There is no comparison. Now, could Anthony Richardson and when I say this, I mean just simply what it is, a franchise starting quarterback. Yes, he could be a franchise starting quarterback. You could get him to that level. Is he a Super Bowl franchise altering quarterback? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So therefore, with everything that has gone on, with everything that happens, the more and more AR screws up, the less and less faith I have. So I've got the numbers here. I had to upgrade it. I went to an even bigger pad to be able to take all the stats on and do all my research on. I had to go to the big notebook instead of the little one. So here are the stats for this past year for the Indianapolis Colts. So offensively, they had the number 13 total offense in the league at 335 yards a game. They were 25th in passing at 198 yards a game. That's with obviously both Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson. They were 8th in the league in rushing with 137, which, let's be honest, got really helped at the end of the year, especially with that 200-plus yard performance by Jonathan Taylor against the Tennessee Titans when the Titans forgot how to tackle for 3.5 quarters. So the numbers aren't necessarily bad, but the disparity is too much. If you're going to have the number 8th rushing attack, you can't have the number 25th passing attack and expect to make the playoffs. Now, a lot of people say their issues are on defense, and the stats really bear that out. They were 29th in total defense, 361 yards a game. They were 26th against the pass at 229. They were 24th against the run at 132. Now, they averaged 22 points per game on offense, and they allowed 25 points per game on defense. That's how you lose. But this is a very opportunistic defense. So when the turnover differential comes into play, it's kind of eye-opening. They were -4 in turnover differential. They had 16 interceptions and 9 fumble recoveries. They gave away 19 interceptions and 10 fumbles. Too much. Defense wasn't bad. That's averaging almost 1.5 turnovers a game. That's exactly where you want to be. 1.5 turnovers a game. Ish. You can't complain about the turnover part of this. You just can't give the ball away. And you can't, you just 29th best defense. I'm happy Gus Bradley, I've said it for 2 years at this point. Gus Bradley needed to be fired. My early predictions with Lou is going to be Latu's going to have over 10 sacks next year. But unless they really fix the secondary part of this, they're still going to just get beat over the top. So if you're just going to get beat over the top, I don't know how much good it's going to be. This team doesn't look great. And looking at the numbers, this is why all the Colts fans want Chris Ballard fired. We had so much cap space last year, and now we have squandered it. We're down to $28 million in cap space. Squandered it on Big Al Grove Stewart. Squandered it on Kenny freaking Moore. I'm sorry. Chris Ballard, I've said this forever. He is a BGM. He can get you to where you can make the playoffs. The roster construction has not been horrible. He can get you to where you make the playoffs. He's not going to get you to a championship because he's too chicken to make a real move that could potentially get him criticized, well, he doesn't have a backbone. You got to take criticism. Sometimes things don't work. John Lynch traded up, drafted Trey Lance. Didn't work. Moved on. Guess what? They still made 2 flipping Super Bowls. Give me a gosh darn break. You can't. You can't worry about that. You have to go all in. And Chris Ballard has refused to go all in. So, of all the out-of-the-box ideas that I do, all 32 of them, this is the one I know the most will not happen. This is the one that has the least amount of chance of happening. Now, when you look at our free agents, the free agents for the Colts, 21 free agents, 18 unrestricted. They have all 7 of their draft picks. Unfortunately, only all 7 of their draft picks. Because they should have more, let's just be honest. And looking at the free agents, I actually am hoping we don't re-sign any. Ryan Kelly's a free agent. Let him go. He's been awful for 2 years. Tanner Bertolli is so much better. Let Bertolli start. I don't care about Kelly being a fan favorite. If he wants to come back and be the backup, that's fine. But he has sucked for 2 years as the center, constantly putting the guards in a bad position. Mo Alley Cox, tight end, let him go. Joe Flacco, let him go. EJ Speed, let him go. Julian Blackmon, I like, but he's too injured. Let him go. And then you got a bunch of basically second-tier role players. Hurricane, Dio, you got Taven Bryan, Ashton Doolin. Let him go. $28 million. Don't waste it. I'm sorry. Don't be... This is the problem. And I understand loyalty. And I do love loyalty. But you're loyal to people who make a true difference. Who you get for a good price. The Colts were able to sign Rob Morris and Gary Brackett to legitimate contracts that worked for the Colts and for them. Keeping them together, and then when the time came, Rob Morris became a better outside linebacker than he was middle linebacker. Gary Brackett was one of the best middle linebackers. To me, Mike Peterson's was the best middle linebacker the Colts ever had. He left and went to Jacksonville. Gary Brackett had command of that defense. Gary Brackett made a lot of plays on that defense. He's the second best middle linebacker this team has ever had. And that right there is why the Colts were so successful for so long. They don't have that right now. DeForest Buckner on the defensive line, I have said this, I wish we would have gotten a 34 defensive coordinator. Maybe next year when I believe Steichen and everybody's fired, maybe we'll get a 34 again then. Because I think Latu is a 15-sack potential in a 34 defense. He is not a put-your-hand-in-the-ground 43 defensive end. So once again, using players wrong. I mean, we finished second in the AFC South. Sorry, I'm supposed to say second, not third. My bad. We finished second in the AFC South. The Texans beat us both times, roasted us, really. The games were never actually close. You got the number 14 pick in the draft, so what the heck do you do if you're the Colts? Well, I don't know. But you got to do something drastic. So here's my out-of-the-box idea. You need secondary help. You need secondary help badly. So I was looking through some of the other free agents, because obviously we don't want to trade for free agents. And I was looking through some of the other free agents, and I was going, wonder what we could do with different areas. So here's my out-of-the-box idea. Trade your second-round pick for Jair Alexander. I know he's been injured. But you know what? Injuries is what made the Dolphins lose forever and the Saints win a Super Bowl. I don't know how many of you follow NBA, but the Lakers, I mean, it was a wild NBA trade deadline. I felt like doing a podcast on it because I do follow it. It is something that I follow. I just don't get as excited about basketball as I used to. But something that everybody has said is with trading Anthony Davis, the Lakers got really small, and they're going to need a big. Well, Mark Williams was the big. He failed a physical. So that trade just got nixed completely. And now, where do you get the big if you're the LA Lakers? Well, for the Colts, you're struggling at corner. Your corners are beat consistently. If the guy plays 13 games of 17, he's going to vastly improve that 26th ranked passing defense, at least on one side of the field. The draft has to help them on the defensive side. This is a defensive draft. Go get defense. I'm okay with most of their offensive line. I'm still wondering why the heck Braden Smith has not been moved into guard. Because my thought process with this, and it's going to be with the next coach, maybe, I don't know. Because if we had a Kyle Shanahan, I think we'd be winning. Here's the problem with Steichen. He wants to constantly run the stupid option zone read crap. And it doesn't give Jonathan Taylor the ability to get downhill. Look at the teams that run downhill. Baltimore, San Francisco, Detroit, even Green Bay. Oh, they're under center. Handing the ball off with the head of steam going downhill, letting the running back actually read where the defense freaking is. I'm sorry. I am so ticked and so tired of the zone read offense. We just watched in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs had 0 running game. 0. You can't win without it. Well, you had the number 8th rushing offense, and the numbers are going to lie because of how great the back end the last 5 games of the season were running the football. So the numbers are slightly distorted, but you should be much better than this. That offensive line is not bad. So go after defense in the draft. Get Jair Alexander from the Green Bay Packers. They will trade him. They are willing to trade him. So go get him. Get Jair Alexander. You have to figure out this secondary. You need to make a move that helps the secondary get stronger. I just don't even know. $28 million in cap space doesn't even look like enough to do anything. I really want Christian Loveland or Ty Warren. I really want Loveland or Warren at pick number 14. I really do. I think a tight end like that would help the next quarterback so immensely. I think it'll even help AR if he could learn how to not throw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. I just don't know. As a Colts fan, I am tired. We are becoming a lot like the Bears and a lot like the Cowboys aren't like this necessarily, but we're becoming a lot like the Bears in the fact that every single celebration is of 20 years ago. For the Bears, it's of 40 years ago. So because of that, that's when you know mediocrity has set in. When you're not celebrating anything within the last decade. You're now 2 decades ago, and that's what you're celebrating consistently is 2 decades old games that were played. Something's got to change. I don't like Jim Irsay as the owner anymore. I do not believe he is fit to be an owner 100%. Yes, I do fully agree that he has got a lot of problems and that personal problems should be treated the same way that the illegal money issues were with Dan Snyder. I do believe that issues that Irsay has had should warrant the owners forcing him to sell the team. I'm sorry, I do. I do. It is a privilege to be an NFL owner. And if you're not going to take it seriously with how you act or what you do, there should be consequences. And he should have most of them. I am not proud of my owner of the Indianapolis Colts any longer. I was. He has changed dramatically since Dungy and Polian left. He has changed dramatically since he made the awful mistake of letting Peyton Manning walk out the door. But there's that. There's that. On a post-Super Bowl Monday, the Indianapolis Colts, you guys will see this on Tuesday. Hopefully your Monday was good. Hopefully you had fun at your Super Bowl party if you were out hanging out. Tomorrow, I'm not sure which team we're doing tomorrow. I'm not sure. I got to figure that out. So we'll find out tomorrow together. How about that? You guys have an absolutely great rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like the podcast. And I will see you guys on the next one. Until next time, for Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk, and I'm out. See you later.